Coco Gauff's Miu Miu collaboration gets Venus Williams' seal of approval. She knows an icon when she sees one. Venus Williams hasn't lost her keen eye for fashion in her time away from the tennis tour, and Coco Gauff's recent collaboration with Italian fashion house Miu Miu has earned the original style maven seal of approval, saying that Gauff did a great thing with her recent head-to-toe capsule collection that saw her debut exclusive on- and off-court kits in Rome and Berlin, and one that will continue in Cincinnati next month. Williams waxed poetic on the broader trend of tennis core, as she's returned to the circuit this week at the Miu City DC Open. The former world #1 last year said that tennis never goes out of style, but she could be considered an early adopter of the now buzzy trend that had a star turn last year, thanks to the Hollywood release of the film Challengers. Famously, with sister Serena, at the cutting edge of tennis fashion for decades, Williams signed a $12 million deal with Reebok at age 14 in 1995, a deal that ballooned to $40 million in 2000, which was at the time the most lucrative deal for a female athlete. She later wore her own fashion line, 11, on court for 15 years, where she showcased her own bold designs. She welcomes similar creativity from the current generation of players. "I think tennis fashion is going great, right?" Williams said, before teaming up with fellow American Haley Baptiste for a first-round doubles win on Monday. "Serena and I came out and we were, doing these things, and it's just kept on going, which is great." While the 45-year-old last played a competitive match in March of 2024, Williams' style has remained an ace off the court in the last year despite having wound down operations for 11. In May, she nailed the Met Gala dress code in head-turning emerald green, and 2 months prior was at Paris Fashion Week as a global ambassador for Lacoste. But some things never change. The tennis court remains her favorite runway. Tennis is a great sport, too. There's a lot of sports where you've got to wear the uniform. But here you don't, she added. People are taking that latitude to express themselves and who they are. It's very cute. I love it. When Coco Gauff walks into a room, you feel it. The energy shifts. There's a ripple in the air, like the wind announcing a storm. But it's not destruction she brings. It's evolution. And in July 2025, Coco stirred up another kind of storm. Not on the courts of Wimbledon or Roland Garros, but on the runways and sidewalks of fashion, as she launched her debut collaboration with Italian luxury label Miu Miu. What made this sartorial moment even more iconic? The seal of approval from none other than Venus Williams, a fashion visionary in her own right, and a woman who once walked so Coco could sprint. A fashion-forward grand slam. Coco Gauff's name has long been synonymous with blistering forehands, fearless comebacks, and a poise well beyond her 21 years. But now, a new chapter has opened. One draped not in championship towels, but in pleated skirts, minimalist tailoring, and sleek silhouettes embroidered with rebellious youthfulness. Her Miu Miu collaboration is not just a collection. It's a conversation. And at the heart of that dialogue is authenticity. I wanted every piece to feel like you could wear it to dinner, then to practice, and still feel like yourself. Coco said during the launch event in New York City. It's about performance, not just on the court, but in life. The collection, titled Baseline Reimagined, fused athletic undertones with feminine elegance, mesh-paneled skirts with embroidered slogans like "Love All, Fear None," cropped performance jackets in pastel neoprene, and Gauff's personal favorite, a pair of monogram tennis sneakers with crystal-studded soles that winked under stadium lights. Venus shows up, shines bright. What stunned the fashion world wasn't just the collection's versatility. It was who showed up to support. Standing tall in the front row, dressed in a champagne gold blazer from her own 11 line, was Venus Williams, Coco's childhood idol and now friend. When asked what she thought of the collection, Venus didn't hesitate. "I wish something like this existed when I was starting out," she said, flashing that familiar, radiant smile. Coco's redefining what it means to be a woman in sport, and now in style. She's blending power and playfulness. I'm obsessed. The two later shared a warm hug backstage, their laughter echoing beyond the cameras. It wasn't just approval, it was a passing of the torch. The genesis, how Coco x Miu Miu was born. The roots of this collaboration stretch back to early 2024, when Miu Miu's creative director, Maia Prada, was seated at the U.S. Open, watching Gauff dismantle yet another top seed under the lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium. Gauff's flair on court, braids flying, sweatbands bold, manner unapologetic, felt like a runway moment waiting to happen. She had that something, Maia would later say. That combination of grace, youth, and rebellion. Miu Miu needed her as much as she needed Miu Miu. Initial conversations began quietly during the off-season, with Coco flying to Milan in February 2025 for secret fittings and creative brainstorming. She sketched, opined, selected fabrics herself. Unlike many athlete-turned-ambassadors, Gauff didn't merely lend her face to the brand, she co-designed it. She told stories through stitch, bringing tennis into the fashion conversation. Coco's collection dropped during a time when tennis and fashion were merging in unprecedented ways. Serena had once walked runways. Naomi Osaka had started her own line. Venus had revolutionized activewear. But Coco's approach was different. It wasn't just about representation. It was about disruption. And her first major presentation proved that. Models strutted across a mirrored catwalk shaped like a tennis racket. The soundscape blended match-point roars with classical strings. The show ended with Coco herself walking the finale in a shimmering navy dress with a built-in performance bra and subtle cord lines stitched into the hem. Social media erupted. Fashionistas called her the next Serena in stilettos. Tennis fans dubbed her the queen of the court and the closet. Vogue simply said, Gauff aces fashion's toughest test, relevance. Venus and Coco, a fashion friendship. The synergy between Venus and Coco extends beyond forehands and finals. Venus, who studied fashion at the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale, recognized something powerful in Coco's debut collection. She knows how to speak through clothing. Venus said in a post-show interview, There's a story behind every panel and pleat. And it's a story that young girls, especially young black girls, need to see. Their friendship, once separated by decades and achievements, has now become a tapestry of mutual inspiration. Coco grew up idolizing Venus, mimicking her swing and copying her pre-match routines. Today, Venus reposts Coco's campaigns with emojis, cheeky captions, and the occasional heartfelt throwback. The duo even teased a potential 11x Coco x Miu Miu limited edition drop for charity, a collaboration that fans have already begun demanding.